everyone. It's your girl, Davi Davenport with Davi Davenport Live. Oh my God, am I excited. You know, I pride myself on introducing you to all the people around the globe that are going to bring value to your life. Well, my guest this evening is sharing a story of courage, resilience, tenacity, and just an all-around warrior. Guess what, guys? It's time for you to meet my dear friend, and as I call him, my brother, Donald Hamilton. Thank you. I wanted to have Donald Hamilton on the show this evening, guys, because Donald is a heart transplant recipient. And people don't know that over 3,000 people a year, just in the United States alone, are heart transplant recipients themselves. So I wanted to make sure I took this opportunity not only to introduce you to Donald, but also so he could take us down memory lane on what it was like before, what happened, and how his life is today. So Donald, that's for the Davi Davenport Live Couch today. Wow, you're here. Donald, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much. I've been following this story, but I wanted to make sure that the viewer had a chance to meet you because I believe, you know, being a two-time cancer survivor, having so many experiences, I believe when we share our stories, when we share our stories of resilience, when we share our stories of hope, we have the opportunity to inspire others. And that's what Davi Davenport Live is all about. So I want to have us start out and say, I want us to start out talking about what it was like. How did you know? How would the viewer know if they were having the same experience? What happened?
So in 2007, it was, I believe, in October.
Okay.
You know, I just had a hard time breathing, out of breath a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't, when I lay down, I couldn't hardly breathe. I had to sit up and like sleep in a chair.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't walk far. That's when you have heart failure symptoms.
So you knew something was wrong.
I knew something was wrong.
Okay.
So I went to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor said I had bronchitis.
Come on, Donald.
And he gave me...
Donald, come on. He did not tell you. Come on.
I had bronchitis.
Donald, bronchitis.
I had bronchitis.
Oh,
so I went home with the little thing that you put in your mouth 2 or 3 times a day. And I just kept feeling worse and worse and worse. So I went back and made an emergency appointment to see my regular doctor. He took chest x-rays and said, you have congestive heart failure. You need to be admitted to the hospital immediately.
So after being told that you had bronchitis at the emergency room, you spoke to your actual physician.
I called him and made an emergency appointment to see him right away. I said, something's not right, something's wrong.
So you knew, no matter what they said at the emergency room, you knew
something was wrong.
You know, it's crazy because I tell people all the time, we have to be our biggest advocates.
You do.
You can't take exactly. I used to tell my dad all the time, rest in peace to my father. I used to tell my dad all the time, you can't just listen to the doctors, Dad. You have to be able to listen to your body. So you call your doctor. He says, what?
He told me to come on in. I made an emergency visit to see him. He took chest x-rays and said, you have congestive heart failure. This was in 2007. So they admitted me 2 hours later. Family and my grandmother, who's deceased now, she died at 97. They all came by my bedside, and I was seeing the heart specialist at Ingalls.
So, Donald, wait a minute. Let's just backtrack for a second. What exactly does it feel like for the doctor? Because you glazed over that part.
Correct.
But what exactly does it feel like when the doctor says you have congestive heart failure? What about here? I remember when they said you have lung cancer, you have rectal cancer. What does that feel like when you hear them say you have congestive heart failure? What went through your mind at that point?
I mean, I got a little depressed, everything. Like, why me? Am I going to die? How long am I going to live with congestive heart failure? Do I have 6 months? Do I have 2 years, 5 years? So everything was running through my mind. And I was like, why me? Why is my heart enlarged? And congestive heart failure means that your heart is 2 or 3 times larger than the average person.
Oh, okay.
That's congestive.
Okay.
A lot of people get heart transplants because they have like problems with their arteries going to their heart. Mine was just congestive heart failure, no problem, no blocked arteries or anything like just congestive.
So congestive heart failure. What was your lifestyle like? Because a lot of times people are tuning in and they say, "Oh man, well I'm a smoker, I'm a drinker, I'm a big partier." What was your life like prior to? What led up to? Tell us about Donald
I was
Hamilton.
a smoker.
Okay.
I drank occasionally during boating season. I would have a beer here, a drink here, but nothing major. My lifestyle was normal. I wasn't a big partier. I wasn't hanging out at the bars all the time.
Sure.
My eating probably wasn't the best.
Yeah, well, guilty.
Was I exercising like I should have? Probably no.
Guilty.
But there's people with heart failure now that are bodybuilders. They're in great shape. They're not overweight. There's babies that are 2 years old, 6 months that need a heart transplant. So it's just coming in all forms. It's happening every day as we live. Like the girl I showed you on Facebook, she's 3. She's been in the hospital 251 days waiting for a heart.
Do the doctors ever?
Do
the 3-year-old does?
She has an It's called a Berlin heart pump because her body's too small, so everything is outside of her body.
Do people say that it's genetic? Is it something genetic?
My uncle said that it passed down from my great-great-grandmother, that my grandfather's mother had it, and it passed down to me.
Okay.
And then the doctors thought it could be just a virus.
Okay.
Because I was out boating in October and it was cold with no jacket and like that's sick. And that's when I thought I had the bronchitis. They told me I had bronchitis, but sometimes it just happens.
Sure.
Can't do nothing about it.
You know, I have a 50-year-old cousin that just passed not even a couple months yet. And when he was, 12 years ago, he was in his car and all of a sudden had a massive heart attack. And they said that it was genetic for him. But there was no bringing him back. He ended up being, and if his mom's tuning in, Becky, I love you. She tried her very best to see if there was a possibility of getting him some help. And I think about what technology is today.
It's come a long way.
It's come a long
way. The medications, the anti-rejection medication, people are living much, much longer with these donor hearts than before in the past.
Yes.
You know, some people I know that I've met on Facebook that's had the donor heart for 34 years, the longest 30 years.
Wow. I met someone. Yeah, I met someone at an event that you invited me to that I think had a heart for 30 years.
Correct. I think she had
13 years, not 30, excuse me. But it seems like
that's a long time.
That's a long time.
I'm 63. You know, as long as I get to my 80s with this heart, 85, 80.
Oh, you're going to get to at least to be 100.
I'm just saying.
You're going to get to
I'm just being, just give me an
extra
25 years of life. You know, I'm not greedy. I don't have to get into my, just give me an extra 25 years with this heart.
When you spoke about saying, why me? You know, just a second ago, you said, why me?
I feel sorry for myself. Why me? Why am I having this problem? Why do I have congestive heart failure? What could I have done to avoid it? And sometimes it's nothing you could have done because it could have been from a virus.
Sure.
They think it was a virus. A lot of people that went through COVID, they got heart failure from COVID. They get transplants and LVAD from COVID. There's a lot of pregnant women in their 20s when they have these babies, it put them in heart failure. They had to get an LVAD and a transplant.
During COVID?
No, just being pregnant.
Oh, wow.
A lot of women in the LVAD group for being pregnant.
So the pregnancy alone?
The pregnancy alone makes the heart go bad with women.
That's a lot of pressure.
Some can have 5, 6, 10.
Of course.
But some, they got it from being pregnant and, you know, with the whole thing of being pregnant and all that.
Donald, what was the first person that you called? Who was it?
My mommy, my mother, and my grandmother. Because my grandmother was like my mommy then too. So I called her, my mother, and my Uncle Leon. I called them first. And of course my daughters.
What did your mother say when you called her? What was the first thing out of
my grandmother? My grandmother was right there by me. You know, they panicked a little bit, you know. When people hear about heart and heart failure, they think you're not going to live long.
Sure.
You know, you got a bad heart. They think you have cancer. You're not going to live long. It's end stage. But I ended up having end stage heart failure when they put the LVAD in. In 2015, I got diagnosed with congestive in 2007. 2012, they put a defibrillator pacer in me. They said without that, you're playing dice.
So is that like the pacemaker that
It was pacing my heart from 2012 to 15.
Okay. Is that the same thing as a pacemaker?
It's a pacemaker defibrillator all in one.
All in one. Okay.
So it paces your heart so the rhythm stays paced.
Okay.
And if your heart goes into AFib or VT, which is ventricular tachycardia, it goes into beats like 280 beats a minute or 300 or 280. It shocks it and brings it back down.
Okay.
So I got the defibrillator and pacer in 2012. I didn't get my first shot till 2015. And I got up out the bed one day and it shocked me and I just went to the ground and fainted.
Oh.
So every time I got shot before the LVAD, I would faint. And twice I was driving.
When you got the shot.
So you feel it coming. So I was coming out of a restaurant. And as soon as I felt it coming, I put my foot on the brake and then it shocked me and I fainted. And then I woke up with my hand on the steering wheel and I was about to get on the expressway and I'm glad I didn't because it would have been tragic. And one time I was in the line getting something in a drive-through and I felt it. When you feel that feeling, you can't do nothing. It happens.
Sure.
You just drop.
You know, it's crazy because when we have these type of experiences, I always ask, and I ask my guests a lot of times this, like, what was their faith prior to and what, because if given a diagnosis like that, I mean, obviously you had to believe in something that was bigger than yourself. Were you a spiritual person before you got this diagnosis?
I was spiritual. I didn't go to church like I should have, but I believed in God. You know, I watched, I would go to church online and all that. I could have been going to church more, but I didn't go to church a lot, but it didn't stop me from believing in God and the Lord, and that's what kept me going, So when I got the LVAD surgery, I told you when they took me from Elmhurst, they said, we can do nothing more for you. I was like, oh my God.
Now this was the original medical team. How did you find your original? So you got the diagnosis.
I kept going to Elmhurst.
You got the defibrillator.
They put it in Elmhurst, and I kept going back there just for I would go for tune-ups where I would get a lot of swelling. I would go get a tune-up, and they would get the swelling off of the fluid. And then I went back there in 2015, and they said, we can't do nothing more for you. They said, we're going to ship
This was in Elmhurst.
Elmhurst Hospital is a brand new hospital. They got a good heart center too.
Okay. But
I was passing Christ every day because I live in Dalton.
Sure.
And I didn't know about Christ.
Sure.
And so they just said, you know what? One of the heart doctors came and said, you know what? I work at Advocate Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn. We're going to ship you there. They put me in an ambulance and took me there right away.
Wow.
And they took me there. They gave me the diagnosis and took me through all these tests. And they said, you needed this thing called an LVAD. I was like, what is an LVAD? I thought they were trying to sell me something.
So wait a minute.
So pushing this LVAD on me. I didn't know what it was.
So this was at Christ.
At Christ. I didn't know what an LVAD was.
How were you introduced to that team? How did you find
they took me straight to the emergency room, and I went straight up to the heart ward. And they have a very good heart team there, an LVAD team, and they just I see him walk in the halls a lot, and they just said, you need this LVAD. If you don't get this LVAD heart pump, you have 25% chance of life in 2 years.
Jeez.
So that was a no-brainer to me because I wanted to live. I was like, I don't want to do 25% or 20% of living in 2 years. So I did the surgery.
And you figure you're a relatively young man at that point, and you still are today.
I was 53 when I got the
You're 53 years old. You're a young man with a lot of life ahead of you. And you're thinking, how did I get this? So they say you need the LVAD. How did they explain to you what the LVAD, how it would be an advantage to you?
They have open heart surgery. They have to, cut you, crack your sternum. And it's a pump that goes inside you.
I think you brought some things to show us. Let's see.
So the pump. This is the battery charger. Ooh, I brought all this. I don't use it anymore. So there's a little pump.
I see your name's still on here.
Everything, my name's, I'm giving all that away.
All right, beautiful.
So this connects to the two batteries here, in here.
In here, okay.
Correct. And then there's a line coming from here that goes into your stomach.
So the line that's coming from here is actually going inside of your body.
Correct. So the pump is on the other, is inside, it's connected to
and this is your actual LVAD.
Correct. So it's connected to the left ventricular and the aorta.
Okay.
So it helps the heart pump blood to your organs. So it gives the heart a rest.
So that's an actual miracle. We're looking at, not only are we looking at a miracle, which is what Donald Hamilton is. And if you're tuning in right now, if you just turned on to Davi Davenport Live, I'm super excited. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're talking to my dear friend. It's one of my favorite people. I call him my brother, Donald Hamilton, who is a heart transplant recipient. And if you're out there right now and you're thinking, and LVAD recipient. And if you're out there right now and you think you might be feeling like something is going on, don't hesitate to reach out to Davi Davenport Live. We always are there to help. You can also follow Donald Hamilton on Facebook and Instagram. You can also go on Donald on TikTok also. Make sure because Donald is an advocate for the heart transplant in the LVAD community. And it takes a village. And if you're out there and you just have some questions, then please reach out. So that's your actual LVAD.
Correct. So this is what you wore. This cannot leave your body because it was attached to you.
So it was around your neck. Let me see.
I had it around my neck like this.
Okay.
And then there's a wire here. They took it, but this wire here would go into, I had a drive line. We call it a drive line.
Okay.
It goes into the stomach right here.
Okay.
And then that drive line goes up to the heart. And that's where the heart pump was. It was next to the heart. It goes up to the left ventricular and the aorta. So I had continuous blood flow. They could control how fast my heart beats and slow it down with this machine.
Were they able to do it remotely from hospital as well?
So they hooked me up and they can kind of speed it up and slow it down.
How did you keep from getting infections with that?
You have to do, when it comes out of your stomach, we have to do dressing changes every 7 days. You have to go sterile. So they would send me these kits and I would have to wipe down the table where I'm at, put gloves on and a mask. And once I open up my dressing, my site here, I can't touch anything. I got to go sterile. So you were doing all of this yourself? Yeah, I did all mine from day one. They wanted me to have somebody come to the hospital and learn how to do it. Sure. But my aunt was she died now, but she died about 7 years ago. But she said, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid. So when I got out, I practiced in the hospital. When I got out, I just started doing it from day one. Nobody's ever done my changes. Even when I was in the hospital waiting for a transplant, I told the nurses I want to do my own dressing changes. I didn't trust anybody. If they do something wrong, you get an infection. Sure. And then what if they're not able to show up one day? Well, they all train to do it. Most people that go in with the LVAD, they let the nurses do it. But what if you were at home and you had someone trained to do it, you didn't know how to do it yourself, and then your loved one couldn't make it? That's the thing that I try to tell everybody with an LVAD. Sure. I say, learn how to do your own changes. I lost a friend of mine named Tyron Miles. He was only 42, and he got an LVAD in 18, and God bless his heart. I love this man to death. And he didn't know how to do his dressing change. I said, learn how to do them. So one night, the dressing change came off. His wife was at work. He didn't know how to put it back on. He got the infection. And she worked in Christ. He passed, yes. Oh, wow. Because see, the infection goes up your drive line to the heart. Sure. And once it reaches the heart, So with the LVAD, are you able to have somewhat of a normal life? I know that you and I have spoken about this extensively. I was very excited, and this interview is dear to my heart. Well, number one, because you're one of my favorite people, but also I think that it's important that we get information like this out. Were you living a normal life with the LVAD? I lived very normal. Like the doctors, they were amazed. Like, man, you do so much. You on that both of those both having a good time. They just say that you're a perfect example. That's why even I was in the hospital waiting for a heart. Yes, they had me go visit other people that's waiting to get an LVAD. They had me visit people that were waiting for a heart, even prior to you getting a heart. Correct. Okay. Correct. Just visiting people. Since I've gotten a heart, they called me and say, hey, can you come talk to this person here? He has an LVAD. He's getting a heart. He's a little scared. Sure. Like I visited my friend Lou Vale. He spent a half a year in the hospital waiting for a heart transplant. Wow. And he came home February 6th. He's doing well now. Yes, I remember we talked about that. He was over at Christ. Yeah, everybody I met. We have a heart transplant team meeting twice a month, and I speak to others that have heart transplants and kidney transplants, and some that get heart transplants, they got to get a kidney too.
Sure.
Some get kidney, heart, and lung.
Wow.
Yeah.
At once?
Yeah, one time.
And what would make that someone need to have all of the organs? Is it the bacteria?
Their lungs was in bad shape, and they needed a lung transplant, and they needed a heart transplant and a kidney. I've seen those.
And they survive.
They survive. I'm just glad I only needed a heart.
Sure.
So, but like my friend Neil, he was waiting with me. He got his heart April 10th, and I got my heart April 16th. He got a heart and a kidney.
Okay.
And it's another guy named Juan. He got his. So I got my heart April 16th. Neil got his April 10th, and Juan got his April 26th. We're all a week apart, and we all had successful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Phenomenal heart transplant at Christ, and we all had no complications.
Christ has a great
I put my faith in Christ and Dr. Pappas and Dr. Tutulis.
Yes.
They do great LVAD surgeries and great heart transplants. And I look at my notes all the time. I can't believe this. When I go back in my Bible, it says no complications.
Wow.
And when I woke up,
that has to be one of the greatest gifts.
Yes.
To receive when you say no complications.
No complications.
Or when you go in and you say no rejection.
No rejection. I have 0 antibodies too. So with transplants,
yes.
If you have high antibodies, you're high risk.
Wow.
And there's some people that Christ said you're too much of a risk, we won't give you a transplant. And
sure.
They didn't make it. And they have a treatment now. This lady friend named Eunice, and I hope she's listening. She had high antibodies, and she had her heart going on 2 years now. But they put her in the hospital. They take her through this treatment to purify the blood to get the antibodies out.
Oh, wonderful.
And once the antibodies come down, they got a heart for her, and she's doing well.
So originally, she was not a candidate.
Well,
because her antibodies were so high.
Correct. So they brought them down to be able to receive the heart.
Is that the case with everybody? Is everybody able to?
Some people have high antibodies and some don't. I would just happen to have 0.
But if a person had high antibodies, would they be able to, like how Eunice was able to get the treatment, would that be available to everyone? Is there ever a time when a person couldn't get that?
Some hospitals won't take the risk.
Okay.
Some will.
Okay.
It's another lady named Desiree. She had high antibodies. And she got denied at 3 hospitals. So she got an LVAD at Northwestern, and then they denied her for transplant. She went to Mayo in Rochester, Minnesota. They denied her. And then she moved to Indianapolis, and she went to, I believe, some hospital in Indianapolis. They denied her. She got denied 3 times.
And then came to Christ.
No. And then they said, go to Vanderbilt in Nashville. Vanderbilt does high-risk LVADs and high-risk heart transplants.
Wow.
But she got the transplant without doing the treatment. And she's doing fine.
It's crazy because you and I, and I've actually spoken to quite a few people about this, about having that fear of being a donor. Putting it on their driver's license that they want to be a donor, the myth of something, but someone being a donor saved your life.
Yeah, and it's in the Black community a lot. I see it on Facebook a lot where people the doctors are trying to take my sons and my daughters' organs. They're trying to sell them. They have to realize that once a person is brain dead, they can wait 2, 3, 4 weeks, because you have to be alive to get the heart. The heart has to be pumping.
Yes.
They do have a procedure now where the person can die and they can take it out. They do have something called heart in a box, so the heart comes beating in the box. Mine just came already on ice.
Wow.
But
the heart comes beating in a box.
It's called heart in a box. It's not, a lot of hospitals do that where the heart comes beating already, hooked up to something, and they put it in you. And my fear,
modern technology is amazing.
My fear was that when they pulled my heart out, is the new heart gonna start?
Sure.
That was my fear. Is it gonna start up? When it comes, it wasn't beating.
So they had to
do something. They have to shock it or do that, shock it.
And you have a 30-year-old heart, don't you?
I got a 30-year-old heart. Yeah,
you have a 30-year-old heart.
So I went to the hospital January 6th to get a biopsy of my femur. They thought I had liposarcoma, cancer in my femur. And they thought I had cancer in the right kidney, like a little dime-sized cancer.
Sure.
So they did a biopsy here, took out the mass, And that femur knee surgery put me in a walker. So I was in a walker the whole time in the hospital. I was in the hospital
while waiting for your heart.
Yeah, I was in the hospital from January 6th till May 2nd, but I didn't go in for it.
I remember when you went in the hospital.
I went in just for the 2 biopsies. So the biopsy, the femur came back, what is it, benign, but you don't have cancer. Am I right? It's benign?
Yeah.
So benign, it was benign in the femur and benign in the kidney, because if it was not benign, I would not be able to get the heart transplant.
Yes.
So luckily, prayers to God that he blessed me where everything came back benign. And then I was in the hospital, 10 days, and my LVAD started malfunctioning. So it started cutting off for like seconds at a time.
While you were at home?
No, in hospital.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, that's right.
Started going out to hospital.
Isn't that a blessing?
So
it started malfunction.
Short to shield. Where I was so active with my LVAD that the main drive line come out of my stomach, it started tearing, and it started getting to where the internal wires started shorting out. So they kept putting this rescue. I had rescue tape all on my drive line to protect it, but at the end, that didn't help.
Sure. So
when it started shorting out, they had to hook it up to a machine to where I went to where it was, had to get hooked up a different way. And they said, you know what, we're going to upgrade you from status 4 on the heart transplant list to status 2. But they waited till I got better from the knee surgery and the biopsy of the kidney where I almost bled to death.
Oh.
So they upgraded me on the transplant list February 21st.
That's one question I wanted to ask. What is the preparation for when you know that you're waiting on the heart? What are the doctors doing, and what are you personally doing to prepare yourself? Mind, body, and spirit, but what are the doctors doing as far as physically to prepare you?
First of all, to get the LVAD, you're going to see a psychiatrist. She's going to come around to your room a lot and make sure you're in right mind and body, mind, and sound, just you're ready for it, that you're not depressed. They're always going to ask you, do you want to live? You think about suicide. You say no to all that. And they run a lot of tests. And then when I was in the hospital waiting for a heart transplant, they were just running all these tests every day. They're doing blood work at 6 a.m., 2 a.m., 5 p.m., 10 p.m. They just were wearing my veins out.
Sure. That's what they do in the hospital. It seems like the minute you relax, then they come in the room.
So
it's always
so I asked, I said, could y'all please do, so they did it to where from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock, they would not draw blood. They would not draw blood.
Because you asked them not
to. I asked it because I can't sleep. I'm living here. They put me like in a suite. So, when you're in a hospital for 4 months, you're there a long time. I came in wintertime and came out spring. I came in.
But you came out a changed man.
Yes, I'm glad everything happened when I was in there. So when I went in for the biopsies, I was expecting to get out in 2 weeks. I should have been home. But then the LVAD malfunctioned at the right time. Sure. It was during winter. There's nothing outside the cold weather here.
It's Chicago.
It's cold as out on the west. So I was able to wait for a heart and get out in the spring. And then, like I mentioned before, they called me after 53 days and called me at 2 a.m. and said, we have a heart for you, but it's a high-risk heart.
Can I ask you something, Donald, before we go right into that? Is there anything that you used to take for granted that you don't take for granted anymore today, or any before the LVAD, like Donald, prior to all this, before you went in for what they thought was bronchitis, is there anything that you took for granted? Because life is so precious.
Man, life is very precious.
Is there anything that you would say? Because the viewers tuning in right now, and the viewers, a lot of times we have viewers that are going through, so everybody's going through something right. It seems like something.
Older. I know people fighting cancer now.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend, she has stage 3 breast cancer. But she's doing well. My granddaughter, Nala, she had cancer at 4.
Oh, yeah.
And she almost died. It was cancer of the bones, leukemia. And when she came to my LVAD, she said, Papa, look what I've been through. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Look what I've been through, and I'm still here. So you go through this surgery, you get this LVAD. And she said, don't be scared. I've been through so much, and I could have died, but I'm here.
That's what your 4-year-old granddaughter
She
said
was
to
4
you.
at that time.
What an amazing young lady.
Now she's like 16. Yeah, she was 4 at that time. Yeah.
What an amazing.
I mean, it's just a blessing to wake up every day to enjoy life. I don't take anything for granted.
Yes.
And I'm going to fight to live. I'm going to fight to live. I'm not going to give up.
Yes.
I'm not going to give up. And people,
it's not an option, is it?
It's not an option because I want to live. I want to see my grandkids go to college. I want to see them graduate high school. My oldest granddaughter, I believe she's a junior now. She'll graduate next year. Be a blessing to go to her graduation. My grandson, I think of my youngest granddaughter that's 8 now. I want to see her graduate, you know. So, I mean.
Not taking those things for granted.
You got to be at war. You have to fight. You can't give up. And a lot of it with the LVAD, even a transplant, it's mental.
Yes, it is.
When you give up here.
That's it. That's number one, isn't it? That's what the doctors always told me. It's what you're. Do you believe that you can survive? It's crazy because you went in the hospital February the 6th, right?
January 6th.
I'm sorry, January 6th.
May 2nd.
January 6th to May 2nd. Because you were in the hospital when I had my heart attack February 5th.
Yeah, we were talking.
And we were talking.
On
and you were checking on me, even with everything that you were going through. And that's who you are. I've come to find out that's who Donald is. That's what you're about. Do you think that outreach, that inner outreach that you have inside, that helps a lot? Because I believe when you help others, you help yourself.
I believe that's why God put me through this.
Yes.
It's a testimony to help others with LVAD, to help others with heart failure.
Yes.
To help others going through anything with the sickness. You know, he put me here just to reach out and help others to, you know, to motivate them to keep going, to keep pushing them.
Yes.
And that's why at Christ Hot, they always called me and said, Donald, I want you to speak to this person that's scared to get an LVAD. For example, it's one good person named Gustavo. He's a good friend of mine. He's always tell today, he says, Donald Hamilton saved my life.
Ooh.
And he'd tell you this right away today.
Now that's a powerful testimony.
He said that
I
want to get the LVAD.
Scared.
And I was scared, and I went home and I came back to Christ. I was sick, so they sent me to his room to see him.
Yes.
And I gave him such a powerful testimony. And just he looked.
What did you say?
I said, look, man, you can live with this LVAD and have a normal life. It's not the end.
Yes.
And by testimony to him and how I walked in there and showed him how the LVAD works and everything, he got the surgery. Till this day, he's had the LVAD for 6 years. And he'll tell you, Donald Hamilton saved my life. He said, without Donald, I wouldn't be here.
Was that always the story for you? Was that when you first found out?
That was my most powerful story, with helping someone with the LVAD, just letting them see what I'm going through and how life is not that bad with the LVAD.
But did you feel that way from the very beginning? Was there any fear for you? And then when you found out, because
I never had a major surgery. They had to cut me open and they have to pull your heart out to attach the LVAD, put it back in.
Were you scared when they told you had to get the LVAD?
Yeah, because I didn't know what it was. It's like I got to be on batteries. You know, these batteries last. They got my name. They last like 12 hours. So you have to wear them, and then you have to take your backups with you. And
so you had to wear both batteries.
Yeah, both. You got to wear both.
Okay.
You got to wear both. You got to wear both batteries. Okay. And whenever you go outside, you have to.
So what about at night when you're sleeping? What is that?
At nighttime, I hook up to the wall unit, and I get off the batteries, and I hook up to this wall unit. I disconnect and take the cords and.
Let's see the wall unit. Let's do that. Here. So this is the actual wall unit.
Yeah. So I would hook the black up to black, like that.
Okay.
And the white up to white. And then this will be plugged in and I can walk around the house. I have a 20-foot cord attached to me and I can walk around without batteries.
Really?
Yeah.
Because this is plugged into the wall.
Plugged to the wall. So I always had to have electricity to live.
So did you have a backup battery for your home so that if anything ever happened,
no,
like a generator?
If the power went out, my LVAD would beep, and then I would just hook up to battery. I had the batteries right next to my bed.
Okay.
So I keep them with
So
me.
that would be these batteries.
Yeah, a lot of people get the generators and all that, but I don't think there's a need for that. I don't think there's a need for that.
I have friends that are on oxygen, and some of them said that generators they wouldn't even consider going without. So that's why I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, because I had a life-saving device at home. I had to call ComEd so they would never cut my power off.
Sure.
But sometimes the power does get cut off with the bad weather we have here.
Sure.
And I would panic, but I never had. So with the LVAD pump here, a lot of time the only alarm I got on here is with low battery.
Sure.
But some people get the alarms where they have to go to the hospital. Thank God that in the 10 years I had the LVAD, I never had a real alarm.
You told me once that you had a near scare where the battery got low, and you didn't have my
fault.
Because when you told me that, I was like, "Oh my God!"
I left the house and I locked myself out. I didn't have my equipment, so I panicked. And another time that was worse, that I learned, and everybody with an LVAD has went through this. I was at the harbor, and I left my boat, and I was on my way home. And it was time it tells you when it gets to 2 hours. So these have notches. So when it gets to last 2 notches left, you got 2 hours left on battery. You're supposed to switch to your backup battery. I went to my backup batteries and they were like low.
Oh, under the 2 hours?
Yes. So I was panicking. So I was crying in the car. I was praying.
Were you literally crying?
I was crying. I was praying, Lord, please don't let me die.
Yes.
So I was switching back and forth with the two batteries to keep them going. Yes. And then as soon as I pulled to the house, once the batteries die, this alarm does a loud screeching or screaming like a fire or ambulance. And you only got 15 minutes on this. Only 15 minutes. Once those die, and you got a 15-minute battery. It's either 15 or 30. I believe it's. It might be 30, but just say.
But even that
30 minutes. Once those batteries die, you got internal battery here. That's 30 minutes. That gives out.
Life is over.
Your heart might stay pumping for 10 minutes.
Have you ever known anybody that happened to?
So there's people that I've met in the LVAD group that were tired of the LVAD life. And one person was on the phone trying to talk him out of it. He just let his batteries die. He unplugged himself and he just died.
Really?
He unplugged it. And he let the battery, he just unplugged the batteries and just let the alarm go off. And his heart might have lasted, I think, 10 minutes.
You know what?
So you can commit suicide with this very easily. By just unplugging or don't plug in and just die. And so a few people with LVADs that got the okay from the hospital, from the heart team, just to go home on the hospital, they might have been they just were tired of the LVAD.
You know what? When I think about that, because when I was diagnosed with rectal cancer, given 6 months to live, my son was 5 at the time, lung cancer, 28 at the time. Well, he's 27 at the time when I was diagnosed, but he's 28 now. I always think giving up isn't an option for me, no matter what. I mean, I felt horrible, but it wasn't an option. But I don't want to set judgment on someone that did get tired. Someone that just gets tired and says, they get tired of switching batteries, tired of taking medications. But I just took it as it's just a bump in the road. I'm going to keep moving. Do you have to take any medication today? Is there any medication?
Yes, I'm on the anti-rejection, which is tacrolimus and the microphenolate. I take 7 in the morning and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Those are the anti-rejection, which I'll take for life. Now they're kind of bringing them down. I have to take as much after the first year.
Okay.
So I take 14 of those a day. And then I'm on another 9 medications. When you get a heart transplant, you automatically become diabetic. Because the prednisone, they pump in so much prednisone into you that helps you lower your, you won't get an infection or your heart won't reject.
Okay.
Prednisone lowers your immune system. And it makes you get diabetes.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like.
So it's a double-edged sword. It does one thing miraculous.
250, 280 every time I checked. I had to stick myself. And then my insurance wouldn't cover the Libre. So I ended up going back and they got another contractor. And I was able to get the Libre sensor. So now I have the little thing in my arm and I can check my diabetes on the phone Right now it's only 123. So anything over 150 is 119.
So you're able to check that on your phone?
Yeah, it's 119 now. So yeah.
So where is it attached to your body?
It's on my arm here. So it's a little, and these only last 7 days. I have to switch them out.
Okay.
You can see it. Let's see where it is.
I'll take it off.
I'm not. It's gonna come off tomorrow because it ends.
Okay.
Trying to pull
I'll take it off today. Okay.
See it there?
Oh, okay. Also, it just sticks on.
Yeah, so it's
not in your skin or anything.
Yeah, it's a little needle inside of it that sticks in your skin. It kind of hurts. So in these last 7 days, and they send me supply.
And you change them yourself.
Yeah, I take this off, and tomorrow I'll take it off and I'll wipe it with alcohol swab, and I'll switch to this arm and I'll pop the new one on.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just have to take the phone and put it to that, then it'll activate it, and then it'll start giving my readings.
Sure.
So I went to my endocrinologist the other day. All she does is just they can see all my readings from the LVAD, from the Libra 3. They can see all my readings.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm pretty much going to being not a diabetic because they're lowering my prednisone.
Excellent.
So now I'm only down to a half a pill a day. At first I was taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pills a day of prednisone. So I'm coming off of that now.
How do you keep track of that? You know, a lot of people say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do this.
That little bag over there,
yes.
I have my anti-rejection and one thing that's going to be going from Sunday through Saturday.
So you keep it with you at all times?
Every time I leave the house, I take it with me.
Yes. Just
in case, it's due, I don't have it at home, and, so I spend a night somewhere. I just carry my medications with me.
That's a great idea.
And it's good to know what each pill looks like. Because sometimes you're filling them up and you're tired and you double dip them in there.
I know, I talked about that with my eloquence, my blood thing. I'm like,
I don't want
I've even spit them out of my hand before. Like, did I accidentally?
You don't want to take too many blood thinners, Because one thing about the LVAD is that they make you get on blood thinners so the LVAD heart pump won't clog up.
Sure.
So I had to go to Coumadin every 2 weeks to check the thickness of my blood.
Sure.
And they would change it here and there.
I didn't realize, I had no idea about pulmonary embolisms or blood clots or anything. And all. My doctor recently said the blood clots could have taken you out. The blood clots are detrimental.
We can leave here from anything right now, blood clots, embolism that come through your,
yes.
blood vessels that go to your heart or in your leg, so I read up on what all my medications are, what they do. You can actually what they are. I can name them to you. Boom, 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 boom. I know them. I know what they look like. I know what they do. I know the side effects.
Yes. It's crazy because I was going to say this. I've gotten a lot when I put the post up online. Mm-hmm. And I'm a crazy girl with these interviews also. But when I put my post up online, I had a lot of women that reached out to me that asked me who you were. I said, he's my brother, ladies. It's okay. So they said, well, is he dating? Because he sure is cute. He's
look, everything still works.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm a surgeon like this. So even with I would call myself.
Oh my God.
I would call myself the bionic man because I'm going to.
Oh my God.
I got sexual relationship. I have everything hooked up too.
Oh my God.
I'll either be on battery or I hook up to the wall. So it's like, and then with the LVAD, this is really crazy. One of the medications I had to take 3 times a day was Viagra.
You're kidding.
It's called Sildenafil, Sildenafil.
With the LVAD?
Yeah, so
you have to take it every day?
Sildenafil is
the plot thickens, ladies.
Even women take it. So that was before what do they call it? The guys take the pills. I can't think.
Viagra?
Yeah, that's Viagra. But it was invented for people with heart failure to pump the blood through the body.
Wow.
Viagra pumps blood to your main organs.
So you were taking this every day?
3 times a day. I was only taking 20. I was taking 60 milligrams a day.
So did that mean that all day long you just walked around?
No, my body got used to it.
Okay.
So I was only taking, like some guys take 100 milligrams. I was taking 60 a day.
Okay.
20. But if you double take, you will feel a difference.
Wow.
And I would give my friends something like, man, I like that stuff.
Oh,
some more.
You would give it to them?
Yeah, because I got so much of it.
Oh,
it was a medication,
sure.
So I didn't have to pay for it.
Wow.
So it shipped. It was shipped.
The benefits of it, yeah.
Shipped to my house. I mean,
wow.
I get it at the pharmacy I gave me a 90-day supply. I still have some left.
Sure.
I don't need.
For any of the fellas out there, no, I'm just kidding.
Still have some left. Yeah.
Donald, I know that you spoke about some of the things that you're excited about doing now that the healing process is moving forward with the transplant, like getting on your jet ski this summer. I know that's one of the big things. What was the reason that you weren't able to jet ski before? What was it?
So the last time I rode the jet ski was September 15th, 2015.
Wow.
And I noticed when I was swimming too, I used to be a lifeguard. I'm a very good swimmer. When I was swimming, it was hard to swim. I felt something in my chest weak, like my heart couldn't take it. But once I got the LVAD, you cannot submerge in water.
Oh, okay.
So
I guess obviously this
so
is
the jet ski is low to the water. I mean, as soon as summer came, I was right on my boat. So I'm not putting myself in harm's way to fall in.
Sure.
I wasn't drinking to get drunk.
Yeah.
One guy, Nate, rest in peace, Nate. He was on my boat drunk and almost pulled me in and almost had a heart attack because he was drunk and almost pulled me in the water. So when people get too drunk, stay away from it.
What would have happened if you had a
guy? One guy that was in his 80s was fishing and he fell in with a little bit.
And what happened?
He swam back to the dock and pulled out and went to the hospital, but he lived.
Wow.
They say, because electric and water, they don't mix.
Yeah, obviously.
That is going to get shot inside, but I wasn't going to find out.
Sure.
But the main thing is going to get a drive line infection. Mm-hmm. So where this line goes into your stomach and goes up to your heart, we have to do a dressing change every 7 days, and you have to go sterile. A lot of people get those drive line infections. They put you on antibiotics and put you in the hospital to get rid of the infection. Some got to be on the antibiotics for life.
Sure.
But lucky me, in the 10 years I had the ill, but I didn't get one drive line infection.
Not one time.
And the reason why? Because I did it myself.
Sure.
When I went to the hospital, I told the nurses, like, you're the guy that always want to do his own dressing change. I said, yes.
Sure.
Because I had the wet kit, but I didn't trust the nurses. I didn't trust it. I didn't even trust a girlfriend or a wife.
Sure.
I'd just rather do it myself.
I mean, it's crazy because a lot of times the doctors and the nurses, I've gotten great care from county when I was going through my rectal cancer. I had gone and gotten several different opinions. County was the only one that said, hey, we believe you can beat this. To Northwestern Hospital. I've gotten great care recently with the lung cancer diagnosis that I have, and now I'm blessed for sure. When my doctor and the nurses met me, they said, it's the reason that we believe, my doctors especially, the reason we believe that you're surviving and the same for you is because we've been proactive with our own health care. I have to self-catheterize to use the bathroom because I can't urinate naturally anymore. So I stick a 16-inch tube in my urethra and I share it with people. People say, how do you share that? So,
people get depressed and like they didn't want to live like this.
They told me I could never do it on my own. The nurse told me, I told her, get out of my room. You can't tell me that. That was 23 years ago. She said, you'll never be able to do that on your own. They wanted to put a little bag on. I said, no, let me get, and 23 years later, I'm doing it. I've gotten some infections from it. Now I'm doing something different. I'm not getting the same infection anymore because you have to wear gloves, as you were saying. I put a dressing out on the table. You have to go strictly sterile.
Strictly sterile.
Yeah.
One guy he was on Facebook and recording his dressing. I said, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How can you go sterile and you touching your phone and going back?
You can't.
He caught a dry line infection and did not make it.
Oh dear.
So they had to cut a hole and do another hole with it and put him on what I call a vacuum pump. But he did not survive that driveline infection. I know 4 people that I've come.
You believe he got the infection from when he did the live?
I believe he did.
Wow.
I know my friend Tyrone Miles got it when his dressing change came off during the night, and his wife was at work, and he didn't know how to put it back on. He never got it.
Because she had been doing it for him the whole time.
Yeah, so I always tell people with LVADs, if you're watching, learn how to do your own driveline changes. Learn your medications. Anybody that's fighting cancer, anything, know your medications and refill them yourself. Like today was Sunday, had to go refill, take 30 minutes and refill up from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and 3 times a day.
Yes.
And I make sure that I don't run out of my anti-rejection.
Sure, of course.
That one you cannot.
That's how I feel about the blood thinner. I'm not. I remember going into Walgreens and you got panic. I was like, I have enough for one more day. And I won't ever let that happen again. It was my fault because I was new to it. And so I didn't. And now I have everything lined up in the, for the full week.
For the full week.
What I have to take double, sometimes twice a day. But I won't let that happen because this is what's preserving my life.
And one time I went on a 10-day cruise in 2019 with a buddy of mine named Kevin.
With the LVAD on you.
I had the LVAD. This is my first time leaving the country.
Wow.
With an LVAD. So I had to get the okay from the LVAD team. And we flew to Miami. We stayed in the hotel for like 3 days until it was time to aboard the ship. And this scared the heck out of me. I boarded the ship, but I left my bag with my medications on the curb. And when I got on the ship, I panicked.
Wait a minute. You left your bag with your medication and the boat had pulled off? Or you just...
We got back to our room and the boat pulled off.
Oh my God.
So I know they have a pharmacy on the ship. Do they have all of my medications?
Right.
So I panicked and I ran to the front desk and was crying in tears.
I bet.
And you know what? To this day, whoever that guy was, I thank him. I love him. He put my bag on the ship and they had it at the front desk.
Oh yes, no, that's God. To me, those are God's shots. That's God's shots.
Man, because I don't know if I could have got the blood thinners and the different meds I was on to keep me going for 10 days on the cruise.
You were like, let me buy you a drink, but drinks are free on a cruise. So
and I had a few drinks. I didn't drink a lot, but I had a few drinks on the cruise.
No, but the joke is that you would buy him a drink, but
yes.
But
I was able to get in the put my legs in the pool and go into the water here. And one thing about, like I said, on a 53rd day on April 16th, they called me at 2 a.m. and said, we have a heart for you. Wow. And they said it's a high risk heart. And I didn't understand what they meant, high risk.
Yes.
It wasn't explained to me.
Yeah, what does high risk mean?
So he said the reason it's high risk because the guy was in prison. And he said, when you're in prison, they get those tattoos with them ink pens and them needles.
Sure.
You could be having man-on-man sex. You have a higher risk of hepatitis A, B, or C, or HIV.
Sure.
And once I heard, he said, well, they cure hepatitis A, B, and C, A, B. They cure hepatitis A and B. Once you get a transplant, if you get a heart with hepatitis, you get on med for 90 days, and then you're cured.
Okay.
But when he said HIV, that threw me off.
Sure.
They can cure HIV.
And there was no way of knowing.
No, because they didn't know his lifestyle.
Sure.
He got killed 30 days after he got out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know his lifestyle.
Sure.
So I called my daughter, and she said, Dad, don't take the heart. And I called another friend, Desiree, who put me in contact with a guy named Harvey Catchings, which he's a blessing. He's an ex-NBA player.
Sure.
He's an NBA player now. He retired like in 85.
And he's a transplant survivor.
He's had a heart for 6 months. So what made his heart go bad? He's working out every day.
Wow.
But he had to get a heart transplant.
So when you called him, was it that he had gotten a high risk heart?
He just told me he told me don't take that high risk heart.
Okay.
And then I even asked some of the doctors that came in. I said, would you have taken a high risk heart? They said no. But then again, a lot of people they'll take a heart with hepatitis, or a person that was a drug user, or a person that was gay, at the sex with men, because they're on their deathbed waiting for it.
Sure. I would also
have the time.
Yes, I would do the same.
But when I denied the heart, my heart started going into ventricular tachycardia. It started just like they were rushing in. My heart started giving out. It started like it was at its end stage. I knew I couldn't live with that LVAD forever. This will keep your heart going, but sometimes your heart gets worse, and it'll keep you going as long as you can. Yeah. But my heart was giving up. It was the end.
Did you start second guessing that you didn't get that high risk heart?
Took that heart.
Yeah.
It was a guy that was like young 20s, and what did I do? But by the grace of God, 2 days later. They walked into my room, a team of them, 6 of them, heart transplant doctors. They said, we have a perfect match for you. Yeah. For some reason, my mother was there. Yes. Another lady friend was there, and I just busted down and broke down in tears. I was crying.
Oh, my. I would have been just round of applause. Yes.
just crying of tears, but of joy.
Yes.
That I got a second chance and I got a perfect match. And they said, you know what? They started running all these blood tests and they saying, we're going to take you down to surgery in about 3 hours. And I was ready.
Wow.
And they wheeled me. I think I put a video up on Facebook. They wheeled me down.
Yes, I saw that.
And one thing I didn't know, when they take you down to the surgical room, they get you ready, hook you up with all these, they put you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You're already asleep when the heart comes. Because you only got a 4 to 6 hour window for that heart to be out the body.
Sure.
So when a heart comes to the hospital by jet, so I always thank Dr. Cross. He was the one to go by jet to get the heart. They don't tell me what state it's in.
I was going to ask you
but
that.
He took a private jet to pick up the heart. He examined it. He gave the okay.
So a physician actually goes to get the heart?
Yes, Dr. Cross. He helps with the transplants. He's
Wow.
a black doctor out of Advocate Christ. And actually, he's a friend of mine. And his other buddy is Dr. Marvin. He's a boater. And he visited me when I was at the LVAD surgery. So, yes, you have to... and when the heart comes back to the hospital, they examine it one more time to give it the okay. The doctors that's going to do the transplant.
Okay.
And sometimes they look at that heart and say, we don't like it. We don't want us to drive.
Even after going to get the heart.
Yeah, one of my friends, he went to the hospital to get a heart about a month ago. Mm-hmm. And when the heart came in, the surgeons didn't like it. They said, we want you to live 20, 25 years or 30 years off this heart. This heart doesn't look good. And if we give you this heart, we wouldn't be doing you no justice.
Yeah.
So he did not get the heart.
That has to be emotional.
I mean,
imagine thinking that you're going to get the heart and then you don't.
Correct. And it's called a dry run.
Yes.
And luckily, when my heart came, it was a perfect match. They wheeled me down to surgery. I remember them put me to sleep. I woke up, all the tubes were out of me. When I got the LVAD, when I woke up, they still had the tubes in me.
Yes.
Like the drain from the lung. They had like 3 big tubes in me. I have battle scars on my stomach.
I always say those are scars. Those are scars of victory.
Battle scars. They cut me from here to here. They did a cut here to take the defibrillator pacer out. They did a cut here to put in the bypass machine to. When they took the heart out, the blood was still circulating around the body. Yeah. They had to have a incision. When they took the LVAD cord out, I had a incision. My stomach's just all marked up. But I call it just the
victory. Yes.
Victory.
Yes.
But once they put me to sleep, I woke up with the heart. I just felt it beating. I was
going to ask you, what was that like to hear that heart beat for the first time?
I kept looking at that monitor with the heart rate. I just always looked at it. The nurses say, just calm down. You're monitored 24/7. I was just always looking to see. I was
trying to hear that heartbeat.
Why is my heart rate so high? She said, when you get a donor heart, it's going to run higher than a normal heart.
Okay.
So like before the LVAD, my heart rate was always between 65 and 70. With the new donor heart, it's always like 94, 99. Yeah. If I get up and walk, it goes to 116, 120. So it's going to always beat faster, which I don't understand, but donor hearts beat faster.
And I see you in the gym working out now. I see you back in the gym.
Yeah, I got to get back because they put me through cardiac rehab. That was like 3 months. And then I went to the gym for my knee. Okay. And then that all ended in like October. So now the weather's kind of getting better. I'm going to join a gym close to my house.
So the doctors say it's okay. You can join a gym. You're all good.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get back physical therapy for the knee because I still got a limp. Okay. This knee still hurts. Okay. For some reason, after they said it'd take about a year, but it still gives me a limp and hurts.
Sure.
When they went in, I got a big cut here. But even like from the open heart, the transplant. It takes a full year or so for this chest to heal. Sure. Still feels a little funny sometimes.
Okay. I can imagine.
Remember they had to cut me twice.
Yeah, think about that. You can't, they had to cut me to do the rectal cancer. I still have sensitivity there sometimes. We're talking 23 years later. It'll be if I overdo something. Yes. From the incision mark, I'll feel it. Yeah. Day to day, everything's fine. It feels normal. But sometimes that if I overdo it or if I lift something too heavy or if I'm exhausted, people don't realize that we have to get our rest. Donald, I've had an amazing time talking to you today. It's
been a blessing. Almost didn't make it at that hospital. I don't know if I mentioned it on this run here. February 11th, when they did the kidney biopsy, 2 days later, I started bleeding to death. And I hit that button. I was like, I cannot breathe. I can't breathe. So they rushed me down to get a CT scan. And they said, you're bleeding internally. And then they...
Fortunately, you were in the hospital when that happened.
Yes. And I said, please don't let me die.
Now, you're waiting on a heart at this time.
Correct.
And this happens.
Yes.
While you're in the hospital waiting for your heart.
Correct. Well, they put me to status 2 February 21st.
Okay.
So this was I knew I was waiting for a heart, but they didn't upgrade my status till February 21st.
Okay.
This was February 9th and 11th. Ooh. So I knew I was staying. They already told me from January 14th when the heart pump started going out that we're going to upgrade you on the transplant list. Sure. They waited till I got over this knee surgery and this thing here. They waited till I got better.
Okay.
And then February 21st, they upgraded me to status 2.
Okay.
And I couldn't go home. I had to wait till I got a heart. Like I said, I got that call the 53rd day. It was a high risk heart. I didn't take it. 55th day they came in. It was a perfect match, and I went down to surgery.
Is there anything that you want to say? And I want to thank you so much, guys. For any of you that are tuning in right now, you're tuning into Davi Davenport Live. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to one of my closest friends, Donald Hamilton, who is a heart transplant recipient. He's a warrior. In my opinion, he is one of the most amazing and one of the strongest people that I've ever met. Is there anything that you want to say to the donor family that's there that might happen to see this? You never know.
Yes.
The donor family, and then also anything to the viewer that's experiencing any kind of hardship. First, to the donor family.
I do know it's a male donor. He was in his early 30s. So I sent my prayers out to the donor and the family.
Yes.
Because someone had to die for me to get their heart. And I know that's hard to cope with, to lose your son. Yes. But the gift they gave me, they were able to donate his organs and give me the gift of life.
Yes.
So right now, till this day, his heart is beating inside me. Every beat, I feel it. I'm living off this man's heart.
His heart is beating inside you.
Yes, his whole heart. And like I asked the heart transplant team, I said, please do me one favor. When you take my old heart out, hooked up to the LVAD, yes, I want to see it. So they took a video of my old heart taking its last 2 or 3 beats.
Wow.
With the LVAD pump hooked
Your
up
actual heart.
My actual heart. I have a video of it. And then I wanted to see the new heart, a picture of the new heart before it goes in. There's a difference between night and day. Wow. Night and day. Yeah. So again, just to the viewers out there, go to the hospital, especially as young men, as black men. I don't care what color you are. If you don't feel right, you got some tingling in your left arm, you're out of breath. Ooh. Listen to those symptoms. Yes. Go to the hospital. Make your appointments, because nowadays they got these devices like LVADs that will save your life.
Your life. The batteries. Look at these. Save your life.
You have to be on batteries and plugged in the whole time with the LVAD.
Yes.
But I had 16 batteries, so I would keep 4 with me. I would have one in each car, and I have one on each boat.
Yes.
At my house, my girlfriend's house, I just never ran out.
Yes.
After those 2 scares, I never had that problem again.
Well, guys, this has been absolutely amazing. Donald, thank you so much for today.
I'm honored to be on your show.
Thank you so much. And you're tuning into Davi Davenport Live. I enjoy sharing stories of hope and stories of victory. Make sure that you join me on March the 8th as I introduce you to Deborah Vine, CEO and founder of The Answer, Inc. 39 years ago, Deborah and her late husband, beautiful baby boy, was born by the name of Jason, just an amazing young man. And Deborah and her husband noticed after maybe a short period of time when he was born that something was different. Months after being born, that something was different with their special baby boy. Well, Deborah found out, and she and her husband found out, that Jason was born with autism. Deborah and her husband decided to devote their lives to the world of autism and helping families that might have children that need resources or information. Deborah will be joining me right here on the couch of Davi Davenport Live to share her story of victory, of hope, and also to turn you and anyone else that's tuning in onto resources that might be life-changing for you and your family. Until next time, guys, I love you much. It's your girl, Davi Davenport, Donald Hamilton, a miracle.
I want to say that. I want to tell you, shout out to Lavelle. He just had his heart transplant January 6th. And it's another guy, Christ, he had his January 6th. They both came on February 6th.
Wow.
They're doing well with the new hearts.
Wow, congratulations. And to the doctors over at Christ, you're doing wonderful things. Thank you so much for saving my brother, my dear friend's life. You heard it right here on Davi Davenport Live. I want to say a huge thank you to my technical director today, Dewana Woodard. I love you, girl. You're doing great things. Shout out to
great
you.
Job. Look at
that look at that pretty smile. It takes a village, and I have a great village. Thank you to everyone that has wrapped their arms around me during this last adversity, to my son, my family, my uncle, and everyone, all my friends that have been there. It truly takes a village. And when you have that village, it makes experiences like the ones that Donald and I shared today. Donald spoke about the first call being to his mother, then talking to his grandmother and his children and expressing what was going on. I also have an incredible family. I was a grandmother's girl also. So I want to say thank you. Have a great evening, guys. We'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye. And